There are 5 main methods of factoring. First one is greatest common factor, GCF. You should always try to do this one. And when I say try, a lot of times you just do it mentally. Then there's grouping. Grouping is when you have 4 or more terms. Pst method is 3 terms of the form x squared plus bx plus c. Then you don't have a number in front of your x squared. Key number is 3 terms. When you have the form ax squared plus bx plus c, you have a number before your x squared. Difference 2 squares is 2 terms and minusing it. In this video, we're taking a look at the Pst method. Let's take a look at our first problem here. We got x squared plus 14x plus 40. Now notice the form. We have 3 terms, x squared, x, no number in front of our x squared. That's when you use the Pst method. Now some people learn this and to do it in their heads, and that's fantastic. If you can do it in your head, then you're above a lot of students. I'm going to show you a method you may not have seen before. This is a Pst. What we do is we take the number at the end, which is the 40, and we would ignore signs. If that was a negative 40, it would still work with 40. And we're going to come up with 3 columns. Now the first column, P column, the P is for products. The S, the middle here, is for sum, and D is for difference. Now in the product column, we're going to list all the products give us 40. We got 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 3 doesn't go into 40, 4 times 10, 5 times 8, and that's it. Now in the sum column, we're going to add those 2 together. 1 plus 40 is 41, 2 plus 20 is 22, 4 plus 10 is 14, 5 plus 8 is 13. In the difference column, we'll subtract them, smaller from the larger. 40 minus 1 is 39, 20 minus 2 is 18, 10 minus 4 is 6, 8 minus 5 is 3. Now the number we're looking for is the number in our middle term, which is right here. So we're looking for 14. Well, 14 is right here, which means we're going to use 4 and 10 in our answer. So I got x, 4, x, and 10. Now our note that goes along with this, if you can read my writing, is the larger number in the P column that we are using is always the same sign as a middle term. So larger number in the P column that we're using is always the same sign as the middle term. Well, the 2 numbers we're using are 4 and 10, and the larger of those is 10. Our middle term up here is positive, which means this will be a positive. Now, if the number you circled is in the S column, then it's S for same signs, both positive or both negative. If the number you circled is in the D column, then that means it's D for different signs. One will be positive and one will be negative. Well, I circled the number in the S column, so it's going to be same signs. Since this one was positive, then this one has to be positive. And that's our answer. Let's look at another example. We got x squared plus 6x minus 72. Now this is the Pst method because we got x squared, x, and there's no number in front of our x squared. That's what tells us Pst method. Now you don't have to have x's. You can have whatever variable, but it has to be that form. So we take the number at the end, which is 72, and we're going to come up with our 3 columns. So we'll list all the products, give us 72. We got 1 times 72, 2 times 36, 3 times 24, 4 times 18, 5, no, 6 times 12, and 8 times 9. Now we're going to add them together, S column. 1 plus 72 is 73, 2 plus 36 is 38, 3 plus 24 is 27, 4 plus 18 is 22. 6 plus 12 is 18. 8 plus 9 is 17. Difference column, we'll subtract them, smaller from larger. 72 minus 1 is 71. 36 minus 2 is 34. 24 minus 3 is 21. 18 minus 4 is 14. 12 minus 6 is 6. 9 minus 8 is 1. Now, a number we're looking for is a number in our middle term, which is 6, which is right here, which means we use 6 and 12. So we've got x, 6, x, and 12. Remember our note on our signs. Larger number in the p column that we're using, which is the 12, will always be the same sign as the middle term. Middle term is positive, so this is positive. Now, a number has circles in the difference column, D for different signs. So if this one's positive, then this one has to be negative. And that's our answer. Let's take a look at this one. We got, I think I have room. Negative x squared plus 5x plus 50. Now, first thing I notice is it's got a GCF. They don't have anything common, all three terms, but my first term is negative. Whenever your first term is negative, you always factor out a negative. Now, when you factor out a negative, it flips the sign of everything. So negative x squared becomes a positive x squared, the 5x becomes a negative 5x, and the 50 becomes a negative 50. Now, looking at what's inside the parentheses, we got x squared, x, no number in front of the x squared. That's Pst. So we'll take the number at the end, ignoring signs. So we'll just work with 50. And we'll come up with the three columns. We'll write down all products give us 50. We got 1 times 50, 2 times 25, 3 no, 4 no, 5 times 10. The S column, we'll add them together. 1 plus 50 is 51, 2 plus 25 is 27, 5 plus 10 is 15. In the difference column, we'll subtract them. 50 minus 1 is 49, 25 minus 2 is 23, 10 minus 5 is 5. Now, the number we're looking for is a number in our middle term. Now, notice I don't go back to our original. I always go with this one. We're just working with that, the previous line. So we're looking for 5, which is right here, which means we're going to use 5 and 10. Now, a negative doesn't change anything, but has carried down out in front. So we're going to have x and 5, x and 10. Now, our larger number in the p column that we're using, which is a 10, will always be the same sign as the middle term, which in this problem is a negative. The number has circles in the difference column, D for different signs. So if this is negative, then this one has to be positive. And that's our answer. Let's take a look at this problem. Let me start a new page. And we got x squared minus 18x plus 80. Now, notice the form. We got x squared x, no x. There's no number in front of your x squared. That's what tells us Pst. So we'll take our number at the end, which is 80, and come up with our three columns. We'll write down all products give us 80. We got 1 times 80, 2 times 40, 4 times 20, 5 times something, 16. Listen to my wife on the phone. I should be focusing on this. Let's see, 6 no, 7 no, 8 times 10. Okay, the sum column, we add these together. 1 plus 80 is 81, 2 plus 40 is 42, 4 plus 20 is 24, 5 plus 16 is 21, 8 plus 10 is 18. Difference column, will subtract them. 80 minus 1 is 79, 40 minus 2 is 38, 20 minus 4 is 16, 16 minus 5 is 11, 10 minus 8 is 2. Number we're looking for is on our middle term here. So here's an 18, so we're going to use 8 and 10. Now, if the 18 was in both columns, is both the S column and D column, then you try one, see if it worked. If it didn't work, then you use the other one. Now, how you determine if it worked is you just multiply back through and see if it gives you the original problem. Now, once you become more comfortable with the signs, the only way you can get a positive on your last term is when it's same signs. The only way you can get a negative on the last term is when it's different signs. Anyway, we're going to use 8 and 10. So I got x8, x10. Okay. Now our larger number in the p column that we're using, which is 8 and 10, larger numbers of 10, is always going to be the same sign as the middle term, which is negative. Now, a number we circled is in the s column, s for same signs. So if this one's negative, then this one has to be negative. And that's our answer. Let's take a look at this one. We've got m squared plus 13mn plus 30n squared. Different variables, but still the same idea. There's no GCF, but if I look at this, I got m squared, m, no m, and there's no number in front of the m squared. That fits our pattern we've been looking for. So again, m squared, m, no number in front of our m squared. So we'll use Pst. We'll take our number at the end, which is a 30, come up with our 3 columns. We got 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10, 5 times 6. Guess that's everything. Add them. 1 plus 30 is 31. 2 plus 15 is 17. 3 plus 10 is 13. 5 plus 6 is 11. Difference column. 30 minus 1 is 29. 15 minus 2 is 13. 10 minus 3 is 7. 6 minus 5 is 1. Remember, the number we're looking for is a number in our middle term, which is 13. This one, actually, I didn't even realize I had this in my examples. This works out perfect. Notice I have 13 in both columns. Well, if you come up with the signs, the only way you can get a plus here at the end is when they're the same signs. So I know it's this 13. So I'm going to use 3 and 10. Okay, so we got m, we got 3, we got m, and we got 10. Larger number in the p column that we're using 3 and 10. Larger numbers is 10. It will always be the same sign as the middle term, which in this problem is a positive. Now the number I circled is in the s column, s for same sign. So if this one's positive, this one has to be positive. Now how you handle these extra variables is you just put an in here and in here. And that's your answer. Now in case you're wondering why, well, look at it from the left side to the right. We got m squared, m, no m, and we put m and m. Going from the right to the left, n squared, n, no n. That's why we put n and n. It always works out that way. Okay. Let's look at our last example. We got 3x to the third plus 51x squared minus 180x. Okay, now we want to factor out GCF first. I notice they're all divisible by 3, and they all have at least 1x. So that 3's gone. We had 3 x's, took one of them away, so that leaves us 2 x's. Plus 51 divided by 3 is 17. Yeah, 17. We had 2 x's, took one of them away, so that leaves a single x. Minus 180 divided by 3 is 60, and that x is gone. Okay, that's GCF. Now that we've done that, looking at what's inside the parentheses, we have x squared x, no number in front of the x squared. That's Psd. So we take the number at the end, ignoring the sign, the 60, and come up with our 3 columns. Write down all products, give us 60. We got 1 times 60, 2 times 30, 3 times 20, 4 times 15, 5 times 12, 6 times 10. If you're not very good at coming up with these, use calculator. 60 divided by 2 gives you 30. 60 divided by 3 gives you 20. You get down here, 60 divided by 7 gives you something with decimals, which means it doesn't go into it evenly. Now, S column, add these together. 1 plus 60 is 61. 2 plus 30 is 32. 3 plus 20 is 23. 4 plus 15 is 19. 5 plus 12 is 17. 6 plus 10 is 16. Difference column, subtract smaller from larger. 60 minus 1 is 59. 30 minus 2 is 28. 20 minus 3 is 17. 15 minus 4 is 11. 12 minus 5 is 7. 10 minus 6 is 4. Now, the number we're looking for is a number in our middle term, which is 17. Which, oh, we have 2 of them. What are the odds? I made this one up just on the fly. That's Interesting. Okay, well, anyway, our sign at the end here is negative, which means the one we want is this one over here. So we're going to use 3 and 20. So we're going to have 3x, and we have x, 3, x, and 20. Now our larger number in the p column that we're using, which is the 20, will always be the same sign as the middle term. Middle term is positive, so this is positive. Number of circles in the difference column, D for different signs. So if this one's positive, this one has to be negative. And that's our answer.